Today, I will hand the time over now to Sarah, our first speaker. Sarah, please take it away.
Thank you, Joshua. I'm just going to flip to my slides, and please let me know if you see them and if they are coming through okay.
We can see your slides, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation, and again for the organization, both to Joshua and to Paul. I'm very happy to be here as part of the DHL Express webinar series. For those of you who are wondering what I do, so I manage partnerships for Shopify, and I'm based in Singapore. For those of you who have not heard of Shopify, we are a e-commerce platform. We started off as a web store builder, and our value proposition is to make it easy for businesses to set up their e-commerce platforms without needing a tech team or in-house or the ability to read and write code. So we take the technology piece out of the equation, leaving businesses the ability to use their time in other areas that are not replaceable by technology, and usually that is in the production of the product or the craft, which is usually what the businesses are most passionate about, or handling things like customer service and digital marketing, which is very centered around the brand proposition of the business. So in managing partnerships, I work with different partners such as DHL Express to help provide our sellers with the most variety of tools that they can use in terms of automating their e-commerce business, so that they are able to focus on the things that they are specifically good at, and to help the business to scale. So you'll find that you'll be able to use a lot of different third-party tools and applications to add on to your Shopify store. From our perspective, Shopify is used very differently by sellers in Asia compared to in North America. However, according to reports by industry players such as Nielsen and PayPal, the e-commerce market in Asia has overtaken the West as the most lucrative e-commerce region, and is expected to grow even more in the next 4 to 5 years. So I belong to the international team at Shopify, and we look at how to support sellers across the world and localize the Shopify product such that it has all the features needed by sellers in our region to sell domestically or globally. In Asia, most of our sellers sell beyond domestic borders, often to mature e-commerce markets like North America, Europe, and Australia. So given this trend, I've put together a sharing based on some of the top features we have released recently or are about to release to help merchants in Asia sell beyond domestic borders. As mentioned, Shopify's product story started over 14 years ago as one of the world's first web store builders. So it was designed to make it easy for anyone to get an online store up and running without the need for any technical expertise. Since then, Shopify has grown to include point of sale, mobile, sales channels, marketing tools, and a lot more. So Shopify is now so powerful that we've taken to describing it as an end-to-end retail operating system for over 800,000 merchants globally. The online store is the heart of the merchant experience, and it is the center of the multi-channel strategy, which is often where the seller's entrepreneurial journey begins. Shopify merchants invest significant time, energy, and money to find new buyers and bring them to their online stores. So it's important for them to build an online presence that delights their buyers, amplifies their brand, and showcases their product in the best possible light. So we've been hard at work improving the tools for them to do just that. And today I'm delighted to be able to share some of them that we have introduced recently. So let's take a look at an important experience that we believe is crucial in helping our merchants succeed. With every year that passes, technology makes the world feel a little smaller than it was the year before. Online commerce is no exception, and our merchants attract customers from other parts of the globe soon after they launch their stores. If you think about it, with the advent of information technology and the spread of communications way back when merchants began trading via sea, that's when people used to be able to spread word of mouth of new products or new things they encountered and tell people about them. So this flow of information via communication is what kind of started the first movements in terms of global trade. And that's only accelerated with technology. So cross-border shopping is already accounting for 35% of the traffic to our merchant stores. And the opportunity to expand our merchants' reach is enormous. But let's be honest, many of us have run into challenges when trying to buy something online from a brand in a different country, knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes our spoken language wasn't represented in the experience, or currency exchange fees surprised us during checkout, or the way we wanted to pay wasn't an option. Cross-border shopping shouldn't be this hard. We believe that the purchasing experience for global buyers should feel as local as buying from the local market or the store down the street. So that means speaking to the buyer in their language and allowing them to pay in a way and a currency that's familiar. So I'll talk today about a few things that we're doing to make this possible. For those of you who already use Shopify, you'll remember that we announced our intention to support multi-currency for Shopify payments last year. Earlier this year, that functionality rolled out to our enterprise or plus merchants. Since then, our largest merchants have been using the functionality to create a more local experience for their buyers. In fact, some merchants who have enabled multi-currency have seen upwards of a 60% lift in their international conversion rate. So later on this year, we will be making the functionality available to all merchants using Shopify Payments. Shopify Payments is our payment gateway and is currently available in 13 markets globally. In Asia, this means Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. The selling in multiple currencies features offers prices in that customer's local currency and experience that carries throughout to the checkout. So the pricing automatically adjusts based on Forex rates and displays buyer-friendly prices with simple rounding rules. So this feature currently supports 10 key currencies, the British pound, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, euro, Hong Kong dollar, Japanese yen, New Zealand dollar, Denmark kroner, Singapore dollar, and US dollar. So this is a feature of Shopify Payments, which means it's only available to the merchants that operate within specific countries and follow our terms of service, which means no prohibited business types of that particular country. The currency we pay, however, is only one part of a truly local experience. There's probably nothing more personal to our experience than the language in which we speak. Without it, valuable context, information, and nuance is lost in the stories we tell. So previously on Shopify, it wasn't so easy for our merchants to tell the story to the diverse buyers that visit their sites. As an international buyer, I bring with me my local context, my local nuances and interpretations of what different things mean. And as a seller, it's very hard to cater to all these different kinds of buyers and their perceptions using the one standard interface. But that's about to change. So we've recently introduced and announced our latest multi-language API. So with the API, you can finally store translated content for products, collections, and blog articles, and all other content that you want to translate within Shopify. We're also providing new Liquid APIs, so you can serve up localized content to buyers around the world with the same speed and reliability that Shopify is known for. So this is currently available in developer preview and will be rolled out in the coming months. We're very excited to see how these new capabilities can create local, intimate experiences for your cross-border shoppers. I know many of our participants here are listening from countries where Shopify Payments is not present in. You're probably thinking, what about me? How can I leverage the tools and apps, multi-language API? I can access all these things, but how can I craft an experience for buyers that embraces the diversity of our cultures and makes experiences feel local and familiar, which is ultimately what we need to attract loyal customers? So usually the answer that I give to prospective or existing clients is this. Most merchants on Shopify run a single store. But we've noticed a great trend of sellers in Asia using Shopify to sell internationally through a multi-store strategy. Many Plus merchants also have a compelling reason to open 2, 10, 5, even 100 online stores. For some merchants, it's the ability to launch distinct sub-brands or experiment with new products. As an e-commerce platform, Shopify makes it very easy for someone just to A/B test new strategies or try things in new markets, measure the effect, and implement. For them, multiple stores makes it easier to tailor an experience to each brand or to conduct the low-risk experiments. Other merchants use stores to expand globally, tailoring product, content, and buyer journeys to the different geographies they are targeting. Multiple stores gives them the power to segment and address different markets in different ways. They also want to serve up select merchandise and experiences that make sense for the diverse sets of customers. If you think about it, some products may resonate in some markets, but not others. And the ability to differentiate your product offering per market is crucial. Regardless of their strategy, for most of our successful merchants, stores are a fundamental tactic for growth. However, operating multiple stores at scale increases complexity, which we want to recognize as well. This is why we've also made fundamental updates to users, stores, and tools on Shopify Plus. But due to time constraints, I won't go into too much detail here. However, if you're interested, you can submit an inquiry to our sales team, and they'll be happy to help you. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about something that merchants use all the time on Shopify, which is locations. And not many sellers on Shopify know about this feature, but it's a key part of how merchants can simplify the management of their business. When their Shopify store is location aware, merchants get to experience a more integrated approach to inventory and locations management, so they can reduce operational overhead and start selling faster. An update was released in September last year for all stores to be able to track inventory and fulfill orders from multiple locations. The maximum number of locations you can have depends on your plan type on Shopify, which ranges from 3 up to 20. So this year, we also announced the Delivery Profiles API, which allows merchants and partners building for merchants to optimize the checkout experience and help merchants get more sales by setting per product and per location shipping rules. So you can now set shipping rules based on product characteristics. For example, if it is bulky or fragile or a food item, as well as on where the inventory is being shipped from, which could be from a supplier directly or from a warehouse. So there are two kind of key parts to this API which I want to highlight. The first is location-based shipping. So buyers will be able to see shipping rates and estimated delivery at checkout based on their location. And the second is rates consolidation at checkout. So if a buyer checks out with items that have different shipping profiles, Shopify will automatically serve up only the rates that are available to that specific buyer. The new API is currently available in developer preview and will become available to our sellers globally in the next few months. Finally, I want to wrap up and zoom out for a moment, because all the examples I've walked you through so far show a single merchant's back office working in English. But as I mentioned, I'm part of Shopify's international team. And we want to be a truly global company and platform. So we need to also reflect the reality of the merchants and their diversity and the merchants that we support in place where the merchants spend most of their time, which is in their dashboard. So last year, when we launched Shopify in 6 different languages, we held our breath. Would it be welcomed? Would it be helpful? And would it continue to lower the barrier to entrepreneurship? It's been a great success so far, with over 100,000 people worldwide now using Shopify in one of these 6 languages, which is not English. So our team is working to take this further, and we'll be adding 11 more languages to Shopify. So these 11 languages are spoken by more than 2 billion people worldwide, making it possible for us to bring Shopify to more entrepreneurs than ever before. A great use case is when I was in Taiwan, and I ran into a seller who I didn't know at the time was selling on Shopify. And while he used the dashboard in English, he could also let his staff who were Mandarin speaking use the platform as well. So he wasn't the one, the bottleneck, which had to control everything, but he was able to delegate access to his staff who didn't necessarily speak English. So that's one example of how Shopify is being used internationally in ways that we didn't think were possible before when we started. We're committed to making our platform a more attractive option for both merchants and their buyers around the world. And in the same way we're localizing Shopify, our merchants are localizing their experiences to meet their buyers' local expectations. Watching this has been some of the most complex businesses in the world, and how they've been rising to the challenge has been fascinating. And we're looking forward to making commerce better for everyone, everywhere. I'll leave off with one last slide about us. On our platform, our 800,000 merchants that we support globally have processed over $100 billion in sales. And they are in more than 175 different countries. From a partnerships perspective, we work with different kinds of partners who can help our merchants. Some of them are so familiar with our platform that we've called them experts on Shopify. And there are almost 800 of them worldwide who can help you from anything from web design and setup to theme customizations and digital marketing. We also work with different service providers who will build into Shopify via a web plugin or app. And we have over 2,500 services like this. The DHL Express service is one type of service, and we direct any Shopify merchant who is looking for additional functionality to their store to our app store, which is apps.shopify.com. So that's it from me. I'm excited to hear your questions, and I really appreciate your time. So I'm going to hand it back now to Joshua and Paul. Thank you.